I'm so excited to take you along a full week of healthy lunches this week. It's probably just gonna be Monday through Friday since this weekend's the 4th of July weekend. But each day I'm gonna show you what I eat for lunch, a quick, easy, healthy recipe. And yeah, it'll be good. I'm really hungry, so let's get started with today's lunch. For Monday's lunch, I'm making one of my go-to recipes, which is a healthy buffalo chickpea salad. It's so good, so easy to make, and super filling and satisfying. So I just started with a base of chopped spinach, romaine, and cucumber, but feel free to add any other veggies that you want. And then for the dressing, it's super easy. You'll just need a few spoonfuls of tahini. I used like 2 or 3, half of a lemon juice, a little bit of water to thin it out, and then just a bunch of seasonings to make it taste good, like salt, pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. You'll just want to whisk all of that together to make it really nice and into a good consistency. Then you're going to want to start by making the chickpeas. I just add a little bit of avocado oil to a pan, and then once the oil is hot, add your drained and rinsed can of chickpeas, and then keep that cooking. And once it's almost done, you're going to want to add the buffalo sauce. So keep it on high heat until they get like nice and caramelized and crispy a little bit. They should start to look like this. And once they do, you'll know it's done. So now it's time to assemble the bowl. I just have my base of lettuces and veggies. I'm gonna add the chickpeas and half of an avocado. She's perfect, we love her. And feel free to add any other toppings too. I used pickled onions, the rest of the salad dressing, and it's super, super yummy, but feel free to add anything else that you want. Hello you guys, happy Tuesday, day 2 of my healthy lunch recipes, a full week of them. For today's recipe, I'm super excited. I'm gonna be making a healthy orange tofu situation, and I've been really wanting to try this recipe for a while because I saw some really good, just like classic orange chicken recipe, and I wanted to healthify it and make it plant-based. So let's just jump right into it. I'm gonna make it with some rice and broccoli, and yeah, it's gonna be so good. So for this recipe, it's gonna take a few steps because you have the rice, the broccoli, and the tofu, but I just started by making half a cup of rice and half a cup of water and pressing and draining the liquid out of the tofu and starting to cut it into cubes. Once you're done cutting all the tofu, you're gonna wanna coat it in cornstarch. Be super generous. I don't measure, but just be super generous with how much cornstarch you put because it gets it so nice and crispy. Like, that's the key to good crispy tofu. Just spread it all around. And then my favorite way is to air fry the tofu, but you can really do any way. I just put it on 380 for about 15 minutes, shaking halfway, and it turned out perfect. While that was going, I started with the broccoli. You can really make the broccoli any way too. I just cut it up into smaller pieces and then cooked it on a skillet just with a little bit of oil, salt, pepper, garlic powder. Super simple, but got it nice and good before we got the sauce going. Now to create the sauce, I'm gonna put all the measurements on the screen, but all you have to do is start by heating up some sesame oil and cooking some ginger and garlic on it. I used just like a few small spoonfuls of garlic and just grated a little bit of fresh ginger onto the pan. Then you're going to want to add about a cup of orange juice. You can use fresh squeeze or regular, and you're going to want to do all of this on high heat. So with the orange juice, you'll also need coconut aminos or soy sauce, and you'll add a few tablespoons of that. Like I said, check ingredients on the screen, but keep everything on high heat. And with all of the ingredients on the screen right now, you're gonna really wanna whisk everything together. The final ingredient is honey, which I think really made the recipe. You could also use maple syrup, but I think honey just made it all like sticky and really good together. So once you add everything together, then you're gonna wanna put it on low heat and simmer for about 5 minutes. On the side, you wanna add 1 tablespoon of cornstarch and 2 tablespoons of water in a bowl. And after about those 5 minutes, you're gonna wanna add it to the mixture and then turn the pan on high heat and quickly mix everything together. That's how you get the really good, like thick and sticky sauce. So once it's all mixed together really well, then you're gonna want to put it on really low heat again. So at first, keep it on high heat. The whisk wasn't working well here, so I had to use a spoon instead. So high heat first, and then once you see that the cornstarch is all dissolved and mixed really well, then put it back on low heat and let it simmer for a few minutes. Once the sauce is done, then you're gonna wanna add the cooked tofu to it and coat the tofu all in this yummy sauce. Oh my gosh, watching this video back really just makes me wanna make this recipe again. It was that good. Do that just for a little bit until it's all coated really nicely. It should start to look like this, like that yummy, sticky orange tofu sauce. And then add with rice, broccoli, sesame seeds in a bowl. And voila. Oh, and a little bit of green onions. So good. Hello you guys, welcome to day 3 of a week of healthy lunches with me. It is now Wednesday and today I'm just in the mood for something quick. I don't feel like experimenting too much. Yesterday was a fun experimenting day, which that recipe was fire, by the way. So I'm gonna do one of my go-to meals today, which is just a veggie burger wrap, and it's so easy to make, literally one of my go-tos. So for this recipe, you're gonna need any veggie burger. Dr. Praeger's is my favorite brand of them. I love this California one. And I find that cooking it on the air fryer is the best way to do it. It gets a little crispy on the outside, soft on the inside. And I just cook it at 380 for about 10-15 minutes, flipping halfway. While that's cooking, you're gonna wanna assemble the wrap. I use Siette's almond flour wraps. Those are my favorite. And this hummus, it's so good. It's sprouted, easier to digest. Tastes amazing. It's from Whole Foods. Highly recommend. And then add some greens. I use some spinach and some pickled red onions, but you could just use any chopped onion too, or any other veggies that you like. Once you have it all assembled and the burger's done cooking, wrap it all together and then heat up some oil on a pan on high heat. I just use an avocado oil spray and then add the veggie burger wrap on top of it and cook on both sides for about, I don't know, a minute or two, or until you see it starts to get nice and crispy. And I had some sliced cucumbers and chips and salsa on the side for this meal. Such a good, easy, healthy meal. For today's lunch, I'm gonna be remaking Erewhon's famous kale, white bean, and avocado salad. I'm super excited because I buy this all the time and it seems really simple to make, so let's save some money and make it on our own. For today's recipe, you're gonna need a whole bunch of kale, and I know it's kind of annoying, but it helps so much to take the leaves off the stems and really massage the kale like I'm doing here. It's kind of weird, but it helps so much. Look how much smaller and softer the kale gets after doing it. So definitely worth it. Then after that, you're gonna add 2 teaspoons of ground mustard to a bowl to start to make the dressing, 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil, a few teaspoons of maple syrup, and half of a lemon juice, and a lot of seasonings. I just use salt, pepper, and a little bit of garlic powder. You're gonna wanna use a whisk to make sure that all the ingredients are fully combined and put together well. This dressing turned out so good. It literally tasted like Erewhon's kale salad, like the dressing they have exactly, so kind of crazy. Then once you have that ready, start by assembling the salad by adding white cannelli beans to the bowl, a few spoonfuls of pumpkin seeds. I probably used like 3 or 4 tablespoons, and then a drizzle of hemp hearts, same thing. I just kind of eyeballed a few teaspoons or tablespoons of it. Add some avocado to the salad, add the rest of the dressing, and that's about it. It turned out really, really good. I'm actually surprised at how much it actually tasted like erewhon's real thing. I was bummed at how shitty the avocado turned out. I was really hoping it was gonna be a she went to private school type of one, but you know, we rolled with it anyways. Roll with the punches. I also was still kind of hungry after that, so I just air fried some sliced sweet potato rounds with a little bit of ketchup, and it was a good meal. Happy Friday and the final day of my healthy week of lunches. Today I'm gonna make one of my go-to meals. It's just a classic like healthy burrito bowl. I'm gonna make it with like black beans and peppers and onions, so super easy. For this final recipe, you'll just want to start by slicing up some peppers into thin slices, and while that's going, you'll probably want to start by heating up some rice. I just heated up some brown rice in this pot. Then I started slicing up some onions too. You can really use any onion, just get them into thin slices because that's going to be the base of the bowl. It's kind of like fajita veggie style, but still burrito bowl, so we got a good mix in there. Then you're gonna wanna get the rest of your ingredients, which is just some black beans, some salsa, avocado, lime, and whatever else your heart desires to put into this bowl. Oh, also some romaine lettuce. Then I started by adding just the sliced onions by themselves first onto the pan with some oil, making sure it gets really hot first to get the onions nice and crispy, and then adding some minced garlic once the onions have cooked a little bit, just so you make sure the garlic doesn't burn, because burnt garlic is a no-no. Then adding the peppers and sauteing all that together for a bit, and then I like to add the seasonings once they've been cooking for a bit. So I add a lot of garlic powder, chili powder, cumin, salt, pepper. The seasonings for this bowl are key because that's really the whole basis of it. So make sure you add a ton of those, especially to the veggies. Then after you open up the can of black beans and drain and rinse them, you're going to want to add them to the other side of the pan or just another pan in general. I like just to heat them up for a few minutes and add the same spices to the black beans just so they have some flavor, and I just think the texture tastes better once the beans are heated up too. Then get ready for the toppings. I used red onion, pickled red onion, salsa, and lettuce, added some lime juice, and it was a perfect bowl. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have some new meal inspo, and comment which meal you're most excited to try. I'm curious which one sparked your interest the most. Okay, love you guys. Mwah.